So I started the recording, so everyone in this webinar, you will be recorded. Hello, Lee, welcome. So webinar will be started at 9:30, and if you can keep your microphone on mute mode, I would appreciate it. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar to Microsoft Teams. There is a chat box feature here, so if you like to ask questions, you may write in the chat box, and our staff member will be trying to answer your question in chat box. If it is not answered in chat box, it will be emailed directly to you after the webinar. So please feel free to write questions on chat box. Most of the common questions will be already discussed in this webinar anyway, but you you're always welcome to write your question on chat box. And after we have we finished the presentation, then there will be opportunity for live Q&A. So if you can stay a little bit later, you can ask a question live. Good morning, Barbara.
Good morning.
Arvind, thank you for coming, and thank you for giving your speech. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah.
Now it is 9:31, but let's wait just a couple minutes more. Dr. Obazet, our department head, will be coming shortly. So once he join us, then we'll get it started. Well, if you guys don't mind, you may turn your camera on and let me screen capture my screen for the attendees. So if you will, please turn your camera on, and let me take a picture before we get it started, okay? So please feel free to just turn the camera on, please. Everybody turn your camera on. Show your smiling face. Soon you'll all be here as a colleague, okay? All right. So let me take a picture of this. Smile, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Well done, JB.
You're here now, okay.
Yeah,
All right,
sorry,
you can turn the camera off. Okay, so Dr. Obazet is here, Dr. Kamaksh Sridhar is here. So let me just go ahead and get it started. So once again, welcome everyone for this Electrical and Computer Engineering Department Graduate Program Information Webinar. So once again, keep your microphone on mute mode if you don't ask a question. And feel free to type your questions in the chat box. And our contact address is ECE grad program at ut.edu. You may contact directly to me, but this is the central point of the contact. So I encourage you to use this email address if you want to contact our graduate program office. Once again, ask questions in the chat box and your question will be answered live, or we will follow up after the webinar. So if there are any questions not answered in the chat box, then it will be followed up after the webinar. So be sure to write your name and email address, the personal email address, so that we can follow up. So some people just write question and without name and without an email address. It is very time consuming for us to find your email address and answer the questions, provided the question to you. And for those who did not send us RSVP in the web form, please write to us your name and email address in the chat box so we have your record and send more information in the future. And we will send all those RSVPs and those who leave name, email in the chat box. We will send information packet. This is slide set and graduate handbook and some other the relevant information. So this is the agenda for today's webinar. We will have the welcome remarks from Dr. Obazet, our department head, and Dr. Kamakshi Sridhar. She is the Industrial Advisory Council for our department, and she served Industry Advisory Council as an immediate past president. It will be followed by a graduate student life and career after graduation session. And we have three featured speakers, two alumni of the ECE department and one current student. And then we'll move on for last part of this webinar. That's introduction about the graduate program and some of the common question. Then I will address the questions and answers. So without further ado, let me introduce the Dr. Lawrence Obazet, our department head. He's the fellow of American Vacuum Society, and many decorations here, and I don't want to spend a lot of time. You can read it. So, here is Dr. Obazet.
Thank you, JB. Thank you, Dr. Lee. So I am excited to be able to be here and welcome you guys. I won't be able to stay for the full meeting, but I look forward to being able to welcome you when you arrive here too. I am really excited about this agenda that you get to be part of here today. And Kamakshi, I want to especially thank you as well. I'm excited that you're here to talk with our students. Kamakshi has been absolutely phenomenal president for our Industrial Advisory Council. And so you'll get to enjoy being with her. JB, I got to tell you, man, it's really weird seeing myself as I'm talking. So I'm gonna, but it reminds me. So I put this picture as my background. This is a picture that's very close to my neighborhood in the springtime. I want you all to realize that Dallas area in the springtime can be absolutely gorgeous. And what's behind me is the state flower of Texas. It's called the bluebonnet. And these things will grow in absolutely amazing fields that are just wonderful to sit in and take pictures of and the like too. So as part of my things to touch on very briefly here so that you can hear the more important people, especially those Kamakshi and those alumni and present student here. I just wanted to say that you will be, when you arrive here, the Dallas area is a very welcoming environment. you will immediately be able to plug in here and make a cohort of friends, new friends, and colleagues, and the UTD as a university, and ECE and the Engineering and Computer Science School have amazing connections to local industry. We're #1 in the country in students doing internships. And ECE makes a commitment to our students. We work hard with our engineering school to give you those kinds of opportunities here. So there are a variety of opportunities to work with faculty here, as well as to choose to just come and do some excellent coursework and then get yourself an internship and a position, a job here. Our students are sought after, fought over in some ways by companies. I regularly have corporate representatives coming to me saying, how is it that we can, get better connected with your students here at UTD? And I talk with them about a variety of things. Now, at the graduate level, as JB will explain, we have a focus on 5 different areas now. And we've reduced that number from 10 different areas to 5 on purpose, because we want to make sure that you've got plenty of room for following your own path, so that you've got plenty of room to take exciting kinds of elective courses and work here at the university. So those 5 areas are in circuits, and we have among the largest and best analog circuit design program here in the world. It's called TexAce. It's TXACE. Here we have some excellent work in RF circuit design, which fits with 5G and 6G as well. We have another then portion or degree program that connects with that in signals and communications. We call it the signals and systems area, but it's both signal processing and communications that connects with the 5G, and of course also with medical and image processing and the like. We're just we've just ordered some new hardware to allow us to better teach machine learning and applied machine learning in a hands-on fashion at the university. We're going to be putting an order in for about a $120,000 system aimed at teaching of machine learning and applied machine learning, and that's only a portion of the system, actually. So you will get or have the opportunity to get really excellent hands-on training and learning, and for example, that new area. We've got, and Dr. Lee is part of an area in electronic devices, and we've got one of a phenomenal clean room facility where students are able to go in with faculty and build a variety of devices. There are great classes in this too. And then there's, of course, all of the computing systems material, and then some well, actually, we have a great industry university consortium in hardware security on campus too, and then a wonderful set of faculty who are in the power electronics and energy systems area. And actually that goes across departments, both in electrical and computer engineering, but also in mechanical engineering, where there's wind energy kinds of things. So students in ECE at UT Dallas have an amazing array of possibilities for them. And I wanted to point that out for you. And Dr. Lee will give you more of the specifics on this as things move forward. So I have probably already well overspent my time, so I'm going to turn it back to you, Dr. Lee. So he's already become used to me overspending my time in this. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your webinar here, and I look forward to getting to welcome you on campus too. JB.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Dr. Robozed. So let's move on. So next in the agenda is Dr. Kamaksh Sridhar. Dr. Sridhar is she was the president for Industry Advisory Council until last year, and she made her time to give a speech here, and I hope you can enjoy her talk. Kamakshi, do you want me to present your slide, or you want to share your own slide?
No, please go ahead and present mine. I'd be happy to follow through with it.
Okay, all right.
So thank you very much, Dr. Lee and Dr. Overzet, for inviting me to this talk. And thank you very much for your very kind words in your introduction. Personally, I'm so glad to be able to speak with you all. Like you, I was in your shoes a long, long time ago, maybe it was over 30 some years ago. And I graduated out of India, gotten out of IIT, and wanted to explore graduate school. And over the years, I got my master's and PhD at MIT, and went on. And I'll share with you what drove me into both wanting to do my master's and then also eventually my PhD. It was really it was this sense of exploration, this sense of being a free electron while discovering. In some ways, it was really some of the best learning years early on. Over the years, I've had the privilege of really exploring the telecom industry in depth. Actually, my background, my doctorate itself was in control systems, electromagnetics, power electronics, digital signal processing. It spanned the breadth of those areas. But because of the breadth of electrical engineering, as Dr. Overzet pointed out very nicely, electrical engineering allowed me to then try out new areas, and I got into telecom early on. And I've been in this area for over 25 years in various positions in a few different companies, Nortel, Bell Labs, and now I was there for leading research and strategy positions. And now I'm at Sandvine, which is a 4G, 5G networking company where we are using packet intelligence to do closed loop automation and everything related to identifying what to do with the information we collect with packets, and then blending it with machine learning to take actions within telecom network, closed loop feedback systems. Really been a privilege being a part of the UTD community, watched it grow over the years. I'm a resident of Dallas, lived here for a long time, and I can't tell you how wonderful it is to watch it grow. UTD has truly bloomed over the years. It started out in a location small, but now it's attracting really the best in breed. And you see that level of excitement. You see that level of engagement with the local industry, and also you see the department now engaging with industry and also with outstanding faculty. So guys, it is such an exciting time to be at UTD. And what's nice is with their focus on research and teaching, it is really for you all to decide what you want to specialize in and really use the opportunities available. So fantastic lab facilities. I mean, I sometimes wish I could go back to school and study at UTD again. I mean, the lab facilities are really impressive, not to mention the outstanding faculty that Dr. Overzet and Dr. Lee are hiring in the midst. one of the reasons I agreed to do this talk, it's a Wednesday morning, work to do, but I could not say no when Dr. Lee invited me, because one of the things I found is many students will start their careers wanting to study engineering and get into electrical engineering, but then, after a bachelor's, man, you guys get absorbed by industries. It is so easy to kind of say, well, there's a nice paying job. I'd love to take it. I think we all can agree that being a graduate student itself is an investment in yourself, right? It's an investment in your future career opportunity, and it's about 2 years or so of deferred income. For many of you, I hope you will aspire to do a PhD. A PhD is a very personal choice. There needs to be the want. But if you do choose to, UTD is a fantastic place to be in. Not to mention there are so many companies nearby wherein there are many opportunities for internships and continuous learning. So industry, as you know, today is accelerating at such a rapid pace in all the areas that Dr. Overzet alluded to, be it circuits, analog circuits, digital circuits, signal processing, RF circuitry, control systems, power electronics, you name it, right? Materials. There is Texas Instruments, which is huge, headquartered in Dallas, just around the corner from UTD, a couple of miles, and many other industries. And you'll find the opportunities that come with getting a PhD degree is you get to do research while still having your ears close to industry. You'll continuously see how your work can be applied to industry. So it is really in the midst of an area. It's in the mix. It's in an area where really you are the center of so many exciting things happening in Dallas. On a personal note, so I think I love to kind of meet with students, prospective students, and just share how important and how valuable this important step is. Getting a master's degree is 2 years. It's the best investment you can make in yourself. If there's nothing else you remember out of my talk today, is know this. It is the best investment you can make in yourself. You're at a time in your lives when you're probably starting your careers, maybe not as many responsibilities with large families, etc. But just being able to have those 2 years, and plus, depending on if you decide to do a PhD, being able to have that time to take courses, building depth in competence and breadth in experience. Both depth, because as the saying goes, the deeper you go, the deeper the roots grow, the taller you grow. And I've certainly seen it being applied in my own life. I mean, courses I took 35 some years ago, my gosh, I'm still dusting off notebooks. I still keep them. They're very precious because those principles don't change. And that's really the other thing about electrical engineering. What is so fascinating to me is, you can apply electrical engineering later on to almost any discipline you choose to work in, area you choose to work in. Many of you will continue to work in electrical engineering, but you can also explore so many other avenues, that are kind of derivatives of it, electrical engineering. It's really the broadest area that allows you to kind of build that breadth and depth. So I like to meet with students, talk to them, hear your inputs, what are your concerns, and speak to how, certainly give you anecdotes on how to build a career, how do you it's a marathon, guys. So how do you build it bit by bit? So that's what I'm here to talk about. So I know I've exceeded my time. So Dr. Lee, if you could please go to the next slide. I'll just touch upon a few topics. So the Industry Advisory Board advises UTD. It's comprised of, it's really a fantastic opportunity. It's a liaison between the UTD ECE department led by Dr. Overzet, and it's a group of individuals who are committed to the excellence in education, in research, and it comprises of individuals from both DFW area and outside. And we are here simply to help UTD ECE department succeed. That's our number one mission. We have a president, vice president with several members. We meet twice a year and discuss a variety of issues spanning graduate and undergraduate studies, everything. And we simply provide an industry experience to the department to help realize its goals in being a leader. And that's really what we are. We provide another set of eyes and ears, and we provide inputs. Now, the department itself can take our inputs, and sometimes it may not, and that is totally fine. But it allows UTD to benefit from the breadth of experience and diversity of the IAB members. And it's really a really fantastic group of people. And I learn from my fellow colleagues every time I attend these board meetings in various capacities. We have different committees. We also listen to the voice of the students as well. From time to time, we will provide auxiliary help, if you will, provide judges. So we try to find ways to stay engaged with UTD. Again, all with a single mission to help the department thrive and grow and continue its march along, being a leading university in the country. Next slide, please. Really, hiring trends in EE and CE, as you all know, I talked a little bit about it. I mean, EE, the beauty about EE and CE is the breadth of, it's really broad and yet it's deep. So some spaces are broad, but they're not deep, some areas. Currently, I would say over the last year or so, all of you read newspapers, you can see the sudden resurgence or sudden new emergence, not resurgence, emergence of a new area, which is, everything related to electric vehicles and so on. And if you think about it, at its core, there's so much of innovation to be done there, both in that space and also in the telecom space and also in the defense space. There's so many areas in which there is innovation to be done, sustainable energy. So my point is, all of the electrical engineering and computer engineering skills can be applied to those problems, right? And that's the beauty. You get to define. There are lots of companies around here that are now spawning in this area of electric vehicles. We have a big headquarters of a leading Japanese auto company, Toyota, headquartered here. And there's just growth because people understand EE lies at the intersection of hardware, software, power electronics, motors, circuits, everything, signals, everything requires signal processing, image processing. I mean, cars have become computers. So there's so much of innovation to be done. And the key thing is making sure that you demonstrate excellence in whatever you do, competence, excellence, learn. And so if you could please move on, Dr. Lee, to the next trend. And this is only going to accelerate. I mean, I didn't even touch upon telecom. 5G is growing. There's so much, really so much happening in the 5G space. Obviously in the area of cloudification, but also in the area of building better base stations, building, serving, going now to terahertz. I mean, it's an exciting time. I want to kind of summarize in my head why a master's is so valuable. 10 years, 20 years from now, you're going to need many skills as you enter industry. You're going to need technical skills. You're going to need to tackle complexity and unknown problems. You're going to need to know how to work with people. We're going to need to have expertise, domain expertise, in order to do innovations, because technology, even if you're not in a pure research role, is requires continuous innovation. Innovation is now being democratized, if you will, at every level. So there's no longer this notion of innovation will happen only in an R&D center. It's happening in every organization. You will then want to be able to make strategic decisions. And this is all without an MBA. I'm not talking about an MBA. I'm talking about just understanding, just being in a technology company and applying it to your day jobs. And as you think about how to build your own house, if you will, you're going to need all of these skills in different mixes. And the nice thing you'll find out, I'm sure in the later hours, is the electrical engineering department at UTD is in tune in understanding these issues. The fact that I'm here itself, at the invitation of Dr. Lee and Dr. Overzet, indicates to you how valued these inputs are. And not just me, there are many other industry speakers, distinguished speakers who come to UTD, and they're continuously sharing their perspective. And all of these skills require foundation, and the Department of Electrical Engineering will be a fantastic place for you to build these skills. Obviously, you'll build some of them at UTD, but you will learn to think. You will learn to apply them to problems. And when you graduate, you'll come out really very well positioned to take your place in industry. And I'll just, if I could just say, continuous learning is the key. Invest in yourself at UTD. I mean, this is a cartoon, but I really mean this in that, and studying at UTD in an environment is about investing in yourself. Continuous learning, continuous growth, trying out new things. You may not always succeed, but you will certainly know what works for you, what doesn't. And that's the flexibility aspect that Dr. Overzet alluded to a few minutes ago. So it's really a fantastic investment. And I just want to cap it off with one point. Dallas area has blossomed in the last 10 years. It used to be a farmland when I came. Many parts of Dallas was a farmland. Now there's a thriving international community, not to mention restaurants and really awesome arts district in Dallas. It is a really thriving place, a magnet for not only students, but also companies. So it is a really great time to be here. And I can't say, I came to the US 33 years ago, moved to Dallas 25 years ago. When I came, it was a farmland. Believe me, it was a farmland. And I thought, well, we'll be getting out. And here I am. So love this place. You guys are really in good hands. And thank you, Dr. Lee. I know I overstepped my time, but this gets me going. And I'm so pleased to be here. And thank you again for the opportunity.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Srida, for wonderful, stimulating, and inviting talk. So, as Dr. Srida mentions, the UTD is located right in the middle of all these the high-tech companies, and we are we are blessed with all these wonderful people from local industry as IAB, and Dr. Shrida was a president, and it just shows how well positioned UTD is especially in ECE in this North Texas. So thank you so much, Dr. Shrida, and we'll move on for the next session. So next session, we will have the graduate student life at UTD and career after graduation. So we have 3 speakers. First 2 speakers are our alumni, and the last speaker is current student. So the first speaker is Ms. Pooja Narayangauda. She's working at Skyworks, and she graduated from UTD ECE in the 2018. And she's working at Skyworks as RF design engineer. So let me just turn her recorded video.
Mr. Lee, can you also please turn on your system audio so that we can hear it?
Give me just a second. Let me. Yeah, it was turned on before, but when I shared it again, probably it did not. No.
Hello everyone.
Can you guys hear?
Pooja.
Yes, it's positive. We can hear it.
Okay, let me start it
Hello
again.
everyone. My name is Pooja. I'm currently working for Skyworks Solutions Inc., a semiconductor company. First of all, I would like to thank UTD for giving me this opportunity, and I'm really excited to share my journey briefly as UTD alumni. I would like to give a little background. I did my bachelor's in electronics and communication engineering in 2015. I was very much interested in RF communication and thought of pursuing masters to learn more. I did research on universities, coursework, and finally I chose UTD, reason being professors, especially Randall Lehman, Matthew Hines, and obviously the coursework. So I joined UTD in 2016 fall and selected electrical engineering as my major, and course study was circuits. When I first stepped in, I was very glad to see students from various parts of the world and get introduced to various cultures. I will talk a little bit about RF courses, which is like microwave measurement lab and active circuits lab, where you'll get opportunity to design and measure parts. Practical experience in lab really gave me confidence and helped me secure 2 internships and my full time. UTD provides a lot of resources to students, which is library, labs, activity centers, student union, which I took advantage of. And I like to mention about resume building sessions, intern fair, career fairs, and handshake feature, which helped me during my second internship. International Student Center helps students in every step, like it be a CPT, OPT request, or any travel endorsements. And coming to semiconductor companies, technology changes rapidly and research is ongoing. So industry always needs people to work on 5G, automation, and so on. So in Skyworks, we have a lot of co-op and full-time opportunities open, and we are actively hiring. So feel free to apply. Finally, good luck everyone. Thank you once again.
So that was a recorded video from Ms. Narayan Gowda from Skyworks, our alum.
Hello everyone.
And so next speaker is Mr. Pam Push from AMD. He also graduated from UTD ECE. He got master's in electrical engineering 2018, and he's working as a silicon design engineer at AMD. Pam Push, are you here?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, so please go on.
Yep. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank Professor Lee, and great to be here in good company with Dr. Sridhar. I think a lot of my talking points have been, eloquently covered by Dr. Sridhar, and I picked up a good few points from her as well. So, first of all, good morning to everyone. My name is Pam Push. I am, as Professor Lee said, I graduated from in 2018 from UTD, and I'm currently working here in Austin with AMD. So my journey has been a little, it's been interesting based on the kind of path that I've taken. I think what I take away from what I've done over the last 5 years is essentially what I'm going to share with prospective students. What basically mistakes I did and a few takeaways. Uh, I feel that basically UTD has been a great university. As Dr. Overzet mentioned, you have a bunch of specializations here. Uh, I came here and did my master's in with a specialization in power electronics because I had a background in uh, electrical and electronics from India, which is the traditional triple E that we have in India in most of the universities. So I had a background in high power electrical. And essentially, there was a big jump from your bachelor's, in India to the master's program here in the US. And I think students are gonna feel that big jump in the amount of learning that they go through. And I think the university provided us with some really great professors in my time, and I'm sure they have more and more better courses, better structures being developed. I could see a huge amount of infrastructural change in my 2 years there. So there are some really good things happening at UTD. I try to follow them from a distance as to what's happening. Uh, I'm not really prepared here because I was really tied up with meetings. But I just want to mention the fact that if you actually look at the industry right now, uh, you have a whole bunch of investments in building fabs in the US, which if people are following news, with all the COVID pandemic and the environment that we had. I think the US has, in particular, if you're looking at tracking news with the CHIPS Act, or if you follow the industry with the fab developments that are happening, for example, like in Arizona, you have various companies, Intel, you have NXP, TSMC, Samsung coming up with fab plants. If you try to actually look at those trends and developments that are happening in, for example, uh, sub 10 nanometer, you have 7 nanometer products that we are working here at AMD. You have 5 nanometer, and you have 3 nanometer, 2.5 or 1.5 nanometer that's going to come up in the next 4, 5, 6 years. Uh, there's huge amount of growth opportunities. Obviously, I'm speaking from more of a AMD digital side perspective, where you have these super low nodes. You have extreme high speed analog and digital development going on in many companies. Uh, I have a lot of my friends from UTD, my peers who I constantly be in touch with, and as Dr. Overs had mentioned, we have friends all over in signal processing, working in like Bose or Sony. I have peers working in the analog side at TI, or analog digital ADIs, and formerly linear technology. Uh, so I've had a bit of a wide net as far as what I try to do at UTD. So I started off with power electronics, and then I actually found machine learning and artificial intelligence as an interesting field. Now I know that I always knew that I wasn't super great at software, and that was predominantly the choice for me on choosing electrical in my undergrad. But I kept my mind open on learning new things, and like how Dr. Sridhar said, you constantly try to improve yourself, challenge yourself, and keep your eyes and ears open to opportunities out there. So I started to develop interest towards machine learning and artificial intelligence. Always had interest in robotics and power and all those areas. And so I think just the way life panned out, the position that I am in currently, I'm working with AMD. It's essentially a part of a data center GPU team. So, most of us are familiar with AMD, making processors and graphic cards very popularly for your gaming side. People buy AMD graphic cards for your PlayStations or your gaming consumer side. You also have a big section here now developing really rapidly in the data center and server and cloud side. As Dr. Sridhar said, there's huge amount of growth in 5G, and there's a huge amount of growth in I'd say high performance computing, which is where a lot of universities, tie up with a lot of these big companies. You have AMD actually working on supercomputers and supplying hardware essentially to, for example, Oak Ridge Laboratory or Livermore Laboratory, or working with the Department of Energy. You have a whole bunch of high performance computing applications that actually are pretty endless. You have research going on in the medical field. You have research going on for weather telemetry, or you have defense research. So there's a huge amount of growth happening. It's actually exploding the way that things are moving at such a rapid space. I feel myself as an industry professional kind of under pressure, because you feel that, oh, whatever I've learned in the last 6 months, the next 6 months is going to be something entirely new now. It's going to be something that I need to pick up. So the underlying factor here is that when you have a really good foundation, which I think the courses there at UTD are going to give you, you have a good foundation, picking up basic circuits, or, I try to always tell all my juniors that just do the basics. Don't worry about like really complicated second, third tier level courses. Just try to get your basics right, because once you have that basics in place, and even I struggle with it, I try to get my basics right, get your fundamentals right, uh, because at the end of the day in the industry, what you're going to need, just from a practical standpoint, in whatever sphere you're doing this at, you need to build intuition, and you need to build a problem solving mentality. At the end of the day, that's what you're going to be stuck at for hours and hours at work. You're just going to be working with a team, and trying to solve problems, try to get deadlines out of the way. This is how just the industry works, no matter what your sphere is. So try to get a good foundation, try to pick all the good subjects that you can find. I would also practically tell people, prospective students, not to be, and I mean, this might seem a little counterintuitive, but don't get too rat hole on getting a CGPA. I would say try to take those courses and try to understand the underlying concepts. You're not going to be able to master those subjects. You're not going to be able to master a subject in a semester. That's never going to happen. Try to take all the great subjects that UTD is offering you. Try to interact with the professors. Try to collaborate with your fellow peers there. Try to do projects with them, or try to learn the underlying basic concepts. And once you have those basics, when you leave the leave the college and go to your industry, you'll be able to pick up newer things faster. So that would be my basic message to all the prospective students. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm mostly active on that platform right now. And if you have any questions or any advice that you need, please feel free to reach out to me there. And yeah, I'd like to wish everyone a very best of luck with your journey, and all the prospective students. You all are going to do great. The industry is actually actively hiring, so yeah, it's looking good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pam Push. Wonderful talk, and I know you guys are very busy, and making a time and attend the webinar live. That is not easy, but I really, really appreciate your time. As Pam Push said, we have tons of the alumni from ECE department working in all the good companies around the nation, and we are well connected. So Pam Push mentioned about the LinkedIn, and any prospective students, once you join with us, and when you start the searching jobs and things like that, LinkedIn is a great resource, and LinkedIn, UTD, ECE, you will find a lot of people like this excellent alumnus like the Pam Push. You can find a lot of people, and you will be connected. So once again, thank you, Pam Push. Now we're going to move on to next speaker, the last speaker of this the second session. It is about the graduate student life at UTD. Speaker is Mr. Arvind Srinivasan, and he is currently in our MS program in electrical engineering. It just happened to be that 3 speakers are all electrical engineering. So don't get me wrong, that we have a very good computer engineering program, and when I worked with our alumni speakers, I just went with the first one who responded. So there are other people who will be giving speeches in the other events, but it just happened in this webinar that we have electrical engineering masters, the alumni. So Arvind got ECS $1,000 scholarship for spring 2021 and fall 2021, and it will highly likely he will continue on this for spring 2022. So he is one of the exemplary students in our master's program here. So Arvind, are you ready?
Yeah, thank you, Professor. Yeah. So,
Yep.
hello everyone. So, and thank you, Dr. Lee, for giving me this opportunity. So, I'm Arvind Srinivasan. I'm studying Masters in Electrical Engineering in Circuit Concentration, mainly in RF Communication. I'm a Spring 21 intake student. Earning a scholarship in a reputed university like UTD is prestigious, and I got scholarship for spring and summer and fall 2021 and spring 2022 as well. So, if I maintain a CGPA of above 3.5. So I have graduated with Bachelor's in Electronics and Communication Engineering in 2019. My dream of studying abroad came true, and that too with a scholarship is something beyond my dream. I also have 2 years of work experience in the relevant field in which I am doing a master's right now. In addition to that, this scholarship helped me empower my academic and career goals by reducing the financial burden. I am an international student hailing from a well-educated middle-class family. This scholarship has not reduced not only my burden but also my family's burden. I can concentrate more on my studies and other activities. I'm grateful for providing the opportunity scholarship and making my graduate program life easier. Other than being a ECE scholar, I also work as a graduate student assistant in the Texas Unlock Center of Excellence Lab under Dr. Andrew Marshall. So I have been working for almost 8 months now. I'm happy that I got an on-campus job in my field. This is a value added to my resume. I got this on-campus job opportunity through which I'm getting paid. This even comforted me to focus on my studies and contribute more to my skill development. Dallas is generally known as a telecom hub, as there are many telecom companies like Ericsson, NSN, Samsung, etc., and they recruit interns from UTD and convert them to full-time as well. UTD has a solid research base and provides outstanding resources for academic exploration, follows an interdisciplinary approach and flexible curriculum. The master's program in electrical engineering at UT Dallas is outstanding. It is a rigorous program and graduates are in high demand from national and international companies. It is a part of engineering and computer science school, which has an excellent reputation. Moreover, standards for incoming students are very high. UTD has given me more than I expected and continues to give me opportunities that I deserve. UTD keep on encouraging me to focus on my studies and career development. I'm so excited to see what it has for me in the future. UTD never fails to provide opportunities to hardworking and deserving candidates, and I'm delighted that I made the best decision in my life by choosing this university to pursue my master's in electrical engineering, which proves it at every point. And thank you, and all the best to all the prospective students.
Thanks a lot, Arvind. I know you're quite busy in the middle of the semester, and probably it is just about the time of the midterm exams. So I really appreciate the making your time and giving a presentation today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right, so that concludes the second part of the webinar, and I will move on for next the last part of the webinar, that is an overview of the ECE graduate program and FAQ. All right, so So let me talk about our engineering school. Our engineering school is named after the Eric Johnson, and Eric Johnson is the one of the founders of Texas Instruments. So Eric Johnson Engineering School was established in 1986. And now we have the electrical and computer engineering, computer science and material science, mechanical engineering, biomedical engineering, and systems engineering. So in total number of bachelor's, the undergraduate students in EECE program, it is 1,100 students, and master's students, 231 students, and PhD students, 215 students. And in our department, the electrical and computer engineering department, we have the 39 tenure to tenure track faculty members and 16 senior, the professors of instructions. And out of those, the faculty, we have 16 IEEE fellows. I'm not sure how many of you understand this importance of this, the IEEE fellow. That this is a highly respected, the honor in professional society, and out of these numbers, 16 people are IEEE fellows. You can compare to other schools. It is a very high number. So what I'm trying to say is our faculty is excellent. We have the annual research expenditures about $12 million. And let me talk about the internships. So these numbers, 2018 and 19, we have 156 students from ECE took internships. 2019 and 20, 138 students got internships. So if you just look at these numbers and number of PhD and master's students, you can see that almost everyone who wants to get internship, you have a chance. So that's how good our connection to local and national industry is. Ranking wise, everybody looks at ranking that the US News and World Report ranking. Computer engineering program is 51st in the nation, and electrical engineering is 53rd in the nation. It is just a little bit choppy here and there, like 45 and 53 and going back and forth because the score is just the the one decimal point. So 3.2, 3.1, that makes the ranking changed the 5 places or something. But we are in there, and we feel that we are much better than this ranking. But it takes time to to get this ranking, because it takes really time to get known. And we are pretty young university and young program. In Texas, we are third in Texas public universities after Texas UT Austin and Texas A&M. In this number right here, the American Society of Engineering Education report, MSc, number of MSEE and CE awarded, you can see we are in the 9th in the nation and 32nd in the nation. And PhD in EE and CE, we are 5th in the nation and 29th in the nation. So you can see how big, how large our program is. Every school has something to boast about, and something is relatively trivial and something is very significant. Let me talk about this. This is ICE report, so Immigration and Customs Enforcement. This is U.S. federal agency, and they report this number, the number of students participated in the OPT program in STEM. Look at this number. This UT Dallas is number 1. Well, I just showed it here, 2020. 2021, it is revised, and we are number 1 again. Okay, so number of students who participated in OPT, basically who are employed by OPT program. We are number one. Of course, this is not just ECE in science and engineering, so everybody included. But UTD is number one, and you can see all these other schools, and we are in terms of number, we are number one. So if I talk briefly about the top employers of UTD ECE graduate students, I just looked at the alumni log, and I found that for past 5 years, Intel Corporation hired 150 of our alumni for 5 years. So in average, it is 30 people from our department were hired by Intel every year. So it is followed by Qualcomm and Apple, AMD, Microsoft, Nokia, Qorvo, Microchip, NVIDIA. I didn't put it here in the name, but Texas Instruments obviously here. Okay. So with ECE department in Johnson Engineering School, we have so-called Johnson Career Services. Ms. Pooja mentioned about the Johnson Career Services briefly. Here's a recorded the video, the audio. So let me just turn this recorded audio here.
Did you know that there's an office whose purpose is to help ECS students prepare to get a job? As an ECS student, you have the use of Johnson Career Services. Our internship coordinators are ready to help you prepare to get a job, whether an internship or a full-time position. We offer numerous workshops to support your job search from start to finish. From building your technical resume to preparing for interviews, we've got you covered. We're also happy to work with you individually on your resume and answer your job search questions. Each long semester, we offer internship fairs and we provide employer recruiting events throughout the year. If you have an internship related to your major, we even have classes that you can take for credit. Good luck on your job search, and please contact your internship coordinator for more information.
Once you come to UTD and when you start job searching, Johnson Career Services will be there for you to help your journey. Okay.
Did you?
Let me talk about the 5 concentrations of electrical engineering and 2 concentrations of the computer engineering. So masters in EE, the requirement for masters in EE is 30 semester credit hour, and 30 semester credit hour is the breakdown of that is like 9 semester credit hour core courses, 3 courses, and 6 courses, 18 semester credit hour concentration electives, and 3 school-wide electives. And there are 5 concentration like this. So for the circuits concentration, there are 3 the core courses: BSI design, analog IC, and RF and microwave circuits. Those are 3 core courses. You must take these core courses if you choose circuits as your concentration. But the requirement is quite flexible. Other than these 3 core courses, you have a choice of the 7 other courses, and you can still get masters in EE in circuits. In devices concentration, these 3 courses are core courses: fields and waves, quantum and physical electronics, and semiconductor processing technology. And once again, these 3 courses, after these 3 courses, you can choose 7 other courses, so it is very flexible. For power electronics and energy systems, you need to take power electronics, general theory of electric machines, control modeling, simulation, and power electronics. Those 3 courses are core courses. And once again, you have 7 other courses that you can choose as an elective. In signals and systems concentration, this is slightly different from other concentration, that you can choose 3 core courses out of 4 courses. And probability, random variables, and statistics is so fundamental in signals and systems. This is required, and you can get to choose 2 out of 3 as linear systems, digital communication, or DSP1. And so you can make the 3 core courses. Of course, you can take the all 4 courses. Then 3 courses are counted toward as core courses, and the last one will be counted toward as elective course. Signals and systems, the concentration is pretty big in our department. The largest number of the faculties are in signals and systems. It is because, North Texas in Dallas area, it is used to be known as telecom corridor, and there are so many telecom and signals companies around here, and there was such a boom for decades. And so we have a lot of the faculties in this area. And in signals and systems, we have 2 main thrusts, so communication thrust and signal processing thrust. These days, many people are interested in machine learning and the AI, those kind of things. I want to let you know that, it, but basically, machine learning was basically studied back in 1970s in signal processing, and we have this wonderful signal processing program, and applied machine learning is a hot topic in signal processing area right here. In the computing systems, the concentration in EE, there are 3 core courses: advanced digital logic, computer architecture, and microprocessor systems. Once again, 7 other courses are electives. If you get to choose the computer engineering, MSCE, MSCE has 2 concentration. Unlike the MSCEE 5 concentration, MSCE, it is just the 2 concentrations. So first concentration is embedded systems concentration. Second concentration is computer systems concentration. And MSCE, you have 4 core courses, which ever the concentration you choose, you need to take these 4 core courses. After taking 4 core courses, you can take the 6 elective courses. Okay, so embedded systems, microprocessor and embedded systems, computer architecture, and design and analysis of reconfigurable computing systems, and applied DSP are core courses. In computer systems concentration, computer architecture, BLSI design are required, and CS courses, computer science courses, design and analysis of computer algorithms, and advanced OS is a required course. MSTE, I'm not sure how many of you are interested in MSTE, but MSTE, we have this requirement for 5 core courses. So 15 semester credit hours out of 30 are core courses. You must take these courses. And then you have 5, the remainder of 5 courses as electives. Still pretty flexible. So now I'd like to move on to the FAQ session. So common questions we have received, and I'd like to answer those the common questions. In our website, in our department website, you can find this FAQ webpage, and we have the newly published graduate handbook also in the website. And once you go there, then you can find the exact same information there. So once again, this is the FAQ webpage in our website, the department website. So some of the common questions that we receive again and again is about the application and admission. Is GRE TOEFL waived for application? Well, it is our university regulation and the department rule that from spring 2022 and on, GRE is required for application. GRE has been waived for just 2 or 3 semesters during the pandemic. Because of a pandemic, you cannot go to test center and things like that. But now it is required for application. So you must have a GRE score and the English proficiency score to apply for our program. For English proficiency, you can take any of these English proficiency tests, the internet-based TOEFL or paper-based TOEFL, and IELTS and PTE. You don't have those access, then Duolingo is relatively easily accessible, and you can take the Duolingo as to fulfill English proficiency requirement for application. And the school code for UTD is this one right here. And for those who coming from the countries listed in this waived country list, you don't need to provide English proficiency as part of your application. So, like if you graduated from the schools from Canada, India, Ireland, Kenya, Nigeria, Philippines, UK. So you can just click this list of English proficiency waived countries, and you can find it if your country is listed or not. And if it is not listed, you must provide the English proficiency score. So we often receive the question like I got an alert of missing items on and or hold. So once application document submission is completed, our department reviews documents, but we do not upload documents. So if you got a lot of missing items, please provide that missing item through the system, application portal. Do not email us. There is no way that we can upload the document. So it should be uploaded by applicant. So please go ahead and do it yourself, and do not neglect those alerts of missing items. And if you have trouble of updating materials, you need to contact Office of Admission and Enrollment, and there is the sub-department in that Office of Admission. They handle those issues, some technical issues and those kind of things. Another common question that we receive is, can I get application fee waiver? Well, it is not a matter that we can handle in the department. The ECE does not have any authority to waive the fee. And our university website clearly says only UTD students, military personnel, are eligible for fee waiver. Okay. So that's the policy of the university. And another common question that we receive often is the can I defer to a later term? For deferment, once again, you can all do it all for yourself. So you can defer your admission online. Just click here and you can do it all yourself. So a deferment for more than 1 year is not allowed. And if you want to defer more than 1 year, you need to reapply. So another question that we receive is, I was admitted to electrical engineering, and I changed my mind. Then I want to go to MSCE program, not MSEE program. Can I do that? Well, although electrical engineering and computer engineering are all within the electrical and computer engineering department, it is completely separate graduate program acknowledged by state of Texas. So CE and EE are different program, and you cannot switch back and forth from CE and EE. You can you have freedom to move around from one concentration to another concentration. Like I said before, electrical engineering has 5 concentration, and computer engineering has 2 concentration. In between these MSCE 2 concentration, you can move around. In between these 5 concentrations in MSEE, you can move around. That is no problem. You can do it anytime before graduation. But changing from EE to CE to CE to TE, it is not allowed. Okay. And of course, the computer science at UTD, it is separate department. So if you got admitted into CS and you want to move into MSCE, application is needed. Here's another comment, the common question that we receive: when should we arrive? When should I arrive for studying spring 22 or fall 22, something like that? And every incoming student orientation is mandatory for new students, and spring 2022 incoming student, your orientation will be virtual, and it will be on November 10th, 3 weeks from now, November 10th, Wednesday, and it is required. Okay, so you must attend for this orientation. And first day of class of the spring 2022 semester is January 10th. And F1 students, if you are not living in the States, international students, you are allowed to arrive in the US 30 days prior to the program start date. So that is, December 11th, you can arrive in the US, and you can get adjusted and settle down here, and you can start on the first day of the semester. Well, here is another question. I'll be starting in spring 2022. Am I allowed to work as a RA or TA remotely? This is a university rule that all RA and TAs must be physically present on campus. Remote working is not allowed. Unless you come here physically, your appointment as an assistant cannot be started. And our university president, President Benson, announced that all classes resume 100% in person as of October 4th. That is just 2 weeks before this today. We already started 100% in person. If you're worrying about the COVID vaccines and PCR testing is widely available. It is in campus. On campus, we have a huge facility for PCR testing and vaccine. So, immediately you can get your the testing done, and immediately you can get vaccine if you are not fully vaccinated yet. For TA and RA, the TA appointments are yearly basis. So fall 21 and spring 22, and fall 22 and spring 23, something like that. And appointment, of course, it is competitive, and priority is given to the PhD students, and faculty support is absolutely crucial. RAs are awarded by faculty members depending on their research funding. So both TA and RA having faculty sponsor is absolutely crucial. So you need to directly talk to faculty of your research interest, and talk to faculty and get their support, and you can get started your assistantships. Scholarships. Arvind briefly mentioned about the scholarships, that engineering school ECS $1,000 graduate study scholarship is most common scholarship, and pathways to research scholarship is a little bit less common. But for those who are in master's program with thesis option, then you are eligible to apply for pathways to research scholarship. And all eligible students will be informed once a scholarship is available, and application for scholarship is required. It is the admission is not the automatic application for scholarship. So a separate application for scholarship is required. And scholarship is merit-based, not need-based. So high GPA and high GRE score are crucial factors for these scholarships. There may be one-time scholarship opportunity for spring 2022 incoming MS students, and it comes with the in-state tuition rate. So you don't pay one out-of-state tuition. So the beauty of this $1,000 scholarship is it is not just the $1,000, a net $1,000, and it comes with the tuition reduction to the in-state rate, not out-of-state rate. So that really saves you a lot of money. But once this spring 22 incoming master's students scholarship available, it will be informed to all those who are eligible. Johnson School has the bunch of fellowships, and most the deadline is in June each year. So you may want to look at it once you join with us. Then you can go through each fellowship requirement and you can apply for it. So now I'd like to move on for master's students and PhD students. Once again, master's students degree requirements are outlined in the graduate catalog, and master's degree requires 30 semester credit hours. And 30 semester credit hour basically give you that if you take 9 semester credit hour, 3 courses in fall and spring, and 3 semesters in 3 semester credit hour in summer, 1 course, then you can graduate master's degree in 1.5 years. The simple math here just shows you can get master's degree in 1.5 years. Okay. But most students want to take internships for better job placement, which makes the master's degree typically 2+ years, and they are very well placed in the job. Okay, for international students, you got I-20, and I-20 says 3 years. That does not mean that the getting master's degree is the taking 3 years. That is just a maximum period of time, the typical maximum period of time for typical students who get internships and master's degree. Okay, so if you don't take internships, easily 2 years you can graduate. If you plan well, you can graduate in 1.5 years. If you want to get internship one time, you can still get graduate in a 2 years or 2.5 years or something like that. For master's students, all master's students must submit a first semester degree plan by the end of the first semester, but the sooner the better. And the final degree plan, that is by the end of the 1 semester prior to graduation. And you must meet with faculty advisor to get advised and advise the signatures on the degree plan and submit it to our centralized email address to our program. Once you join with us and when you participate the orientation, this will be the much more detailed information will be provided. As I mentioned already, every concentration area has core courses and elective courses. So choose your classes carefully to maximize learning and graduate on time. And take required core courses as quickly as possible. That makes your headache, you can have less headache. And your program core and your overall GPA must be a minimum of 3.0 to be eligible to graduate. Less than 3.0 GPA will result in academic probation, and not having an overall 3.0 GPA for 3 consecutive semesters will result in being dismissed from the university. So far, I have never seen anyone who is dismissed from the university because of this. But be very careful. I have seen some students struggle first semester, second semester, something like that, and it takes longer for them to graduate. You don't need to burn your money, okay? So, once you join with us, plan well and do well. And cannot repeat a course more than once, and no more than 3 courses can be repeated. and make sure official rules are followed. And don't ever say that I was told this, I was told that, and I thought this, and I assumed this. Don't do that. If you have any questions, you can ask your advisors or contact our centralized email address. And the graduate handbook already explains the most of the things very in detail. So for those who want to take the thesis option, it is relatively rare, but masters with the thesis option, you must have the graduate thesis advisor for individual research. So our the graduate program office does not do any nothing to do with this thesis option. So basically, you need to find your own faculty advisor for a master's degree with the thesis, and then inform us. And if you get to choose the thesis option, then requirement is slightly different. That it requires 12 semester credit hours for MSEE with the thesis, 6 semester credit hour MSc, and 9 semester credit hour MSTE of research. And one course must be thesis semester credit hour, and 6 or 1 or 2 or 3 courses must be individual research. And it requires a written thesis submitted to the graduate school, and a formal public defense of the thesis is required. And if you choose thesis option, then a competitive pathways to research scholarship is available for those students. Now I'd like to move for the PhD students. The PhD students, you must find a research advisor as soon as possible. So even before application, once you get admission, please contact the faculty of your research interest as soon as possible and get connected and get faculty's support for your assistant application and things like that. And PhD degree requirement, we require 75 semester credit hours or more beyond bachelor's degree. So if you get admitted into our program, PhD program without master's degree, then you must take 30 graduate level semester credit hours, then minimum of 45 semester credit hours to get your PhD degree. If you already got master's degree from somewhere else, then all you need is 45 semester credit hours or more for PhD degree. And those 45 semester credit hours can be combined with 42 research and additional graduate level courses and 3 dissertation semester credit hours. And for PhD students, you must pass the doctoral qualifying exam and pass proposal examination and pass final oral defense. There are a bunch of the online resources for ECE students. I listed all these the websites here. And as I showed you before, we have FAQ page, and graduate handbook is also linked. I will send this slide set to you, all those who are attended for today's webinar. So it is all there. And all this underlined, the blue color link is all clickable link. So you can directly go there and find this information and the forms and all the web pages. So that's actually the all I have for this FAQ session. And so let me stop sharing my screen.
Hi, I had a quick question. Is this completely on-site or can it be remote as well? The PhD program, to be specific.
So unfortunately, there is no the remote the option for master's or PhD program as of now.
Okay.
Thank you for your question. This just concludes our webinar. So once again, this is recorded. So it will be available for you to watch in a later time. And I'm not sure how it goes with this, the questions in the chat box and how well it is the answered. But if your question is not answered, this is a time that you have a chance to ask in live. Okay, so there are a few hands here. So let me see. Brianna.
Hi, so I work full time. So what are general, because you just said that it's all pretty much on site. So I was interested in the master's program. What time, I guess, are general classes scheduled? Because I would ideally not have to take off of work to attend classes. So I was just wondering what a general schedule looks like.
Thank you for your question. Are you, are you in the Dallas, the Metroplex, or in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I attended UTD for my bachelor's, but I work full time now.
Welcome back. Welcome home.
Thank
So
you.
basically, these days we have classes usually during the daytime. I think in your case, you still need to come to the campus and need to take classes. We offered online classes during the pandemic, but once again, as I mentioned, we are now in 100% in person, and I would hardly imagine we are going back to any online option anytime soon. So you need to come to the campus during the daytime classes. Most classes are daytime, and you need to take classes during the time. But one thing that I can mention is, the university rule is actually it is a state of Texas rule. We are public university, master's students, you need to graduate within 6-year time frame. So you have pretty good long time for taking just one class and 2 classes this semester, depending on your work schedule, and while you're keeping your full-time job, suddenly you can get your master's degree within even though it is the 6th year is defined the time limit. Many full-time student, full-time workers who still get master's degree in a little bit longer time than full-time students, but they take one class or 2 classes depending on their schedule.
Perfect.
Did I answer your?
Yeah, so I'll just have to work with my job to get time off. But thank you.
Some of the classes are offered in afternoon, Friday, something like that, and maybe very small number of classes are offered weekend, but it is all available public, so you can always look at the course schedule, and you can plan ahead. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Walter?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, so I have a question. I'm a UTL student and I was accepted to the master's program for spring 2022 through the Quick Admit. But I had a question about the GRE because first I heard that I did not have to do it. And now I have heard also that I have to do it like one semester after. So I just wanted to clear that up if I have to do it before or after, or maybe I don't have to do it. I was accepted around April this year.
So probably when you are accepted, it was not requirement and it was not clear, but the acceptance, the condition of acceptance is that you must turn in your GRE score by the end of the first semester of enrollment. So you can submit GRE score before the first semester of enrollment.
Okay, so I do have to. Okay, thank you.
Yes, please. Yeah. Darren?
Hi there. So I've submitted my application for a PhD program in electrical engineering for spring 2020. So I just wanted to know, by the time I receive my decision, will it be possible for me to book a slot for visa and make sure be there before the start of the program? Because we were told that we must be there at least a month prior to the start of the program.
Did you get the admission letter?
No, I've just applied for the PhD program. So I just wanted to have follow when can I expect a decision so that I can plan it accordingly, to book a slot for a visa.
So usually it takes like typically 2 weeks of the review, and you will get the admission after the application. So if you applied in early, I don't know exactly, early October or late September, something like that. When did you apply?
So yeah, the deadline is on October 1st. So I'd applied on around like end of September. Yeah, on October 1st, I'd applied for it.
So you checked the application portal that there is no missing documents?
No, everything is submitted.
Okay. Then you will get informed about admission decision very soon. Then, once you get the admission decision and I-20, then you have the November, December timeframe, 2 months of timeframe. It is a little bit tighter because of the lasting impact of the COVID. The embassies and consulates are still pretty busy for visa interviews and things like that. So just let us know how it goes once you get admitted. Just keep communicating with us and let us know how your visa is going, and we just hope that the visa appointment is pretty quick, and then you get visa and you can come here anytime before 30 days prior to the semester starts. So we hope you can get here in December, but you can get here as late as just the 1 day before the semester starts, January 9th. Of course, there is a little bit of the quarantine, like the 2 or 3 days of quarantine and PCR testing before you can go to the classroom. But basically, that's not a problem. Okay.
So it's not really mandatory to be there a month before the start of the program. In case if my visa gets delayed for some reason, so even would it be possible for me to, will you let me be there at least like a week before the start of the program or something like that?
No, there is no requirement about coming to the campus before 1 day, 1 month before the semester starts. Actually, the rule is you can come into America only within the 30-day the time frame. Before 1 month,
I see.
yeah, so you cannot come before 30 days. Okay.
Okay, understood. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, Saicharan.
Yeah, thank you, Lee. First, thanks for the great session and insights from the expert and alumni. So my question is also a little bit stressed on scholarships part. As I have seen it as part of the slide where you tried to mention, I hope it's not too early to ask this question. You tried to mention a proposed one-time incoming scholarship for MS students. for the spring 2022 intake. Can you also tell us a probable timeline about that, if you
Um,
have it?
so I don't have the finalized the schedule yet. So for spring 22 incoming students, you have the orientation coming in three weeks. Definitely before the orientation, uh, before spring 2022 orientation, we will inform once it is available. Then we will inform everyone. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can expect something like the early November, as early as late October. So next week, end of next week, or something like that. Maybe there is an announcement or something like that. But it will be surely informed to you, and it will be posted in the website if it is available. But we are not quite sure yet if it is available. We cross our fingers, and then we just push
Yeah.
upper administration to get it through, and we are working hard on it, and once we have good news, then it will be informed. Okay.
Yeah, fingers crossed from our end as well. And also that also
Yep.
brings a part of question that being a spring incoming student, the chances of scholarships are comparatively less. So is this ECS scholarship of $1,000 is also can be considered for spring students, or should we wait for a semester and to be considered for the next fall semesters?
You don't need to wait for anything. If you the opportunity is there, just go ahead and apply. Okay.
Yeah, but the scholarships pages, most of them are closed at the moment for, and that says they are pretty much closed for spring incomings. Sadly,
I
yeah.
know, I know. So this is additional to that the typical the annual
Ah,
the
great.
scholarship
Yeah.
the offering. So this is additional scholarship. Okay. So it is kind of the one-time scholarship for spring and bridging you guys who are coming in spring semester. And then if you can of course apply for the fall 22 and spring 23 scholarship again
Yeah,
when the time comes. Okay.
that would be great.
So that
Yeah.
is the major the scholarship competition, but we don't want that you guys the left out for those who come spring semester, and why don't I get this the scholarship opportunity? So we are trying hard to uh, make this happen. Okay,
Thank you for your answers and also the great efforts. Yeah.
thank you. Next question, Ugechi.
Yeah, hello, good morning. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Thank you for the session. I have a question about part-time PhD. What's the least number of classes one can have to satisfy a part-time PhD um, program, say in a semester?
A very good question. For those who are working full time, and people who are not in the Dallas area have this same sort of question. Our PhD program requires at least two courses that you must take from UTD ECE department as a PhD student. So our qualifying exam, PhD qualifying exam, has two parts. The first part, you take two ECE classes and get a B plus or better grade to just show bare bone basic, the fundamental knowledge in ECE. Okay. And the second part is the research based, and you work with advisor and give a presentation based on the literature survey and your preliminary work. So the absolute minimum courses that you must take as a PhD student at UTD ECE is two courses. And as I mentioned in Brianna's question, there is no remote or online option. So you must come to campus to take classes, take exams, and get B plus or better grade to get those 2 courses passed. Of course, more than 2 courses, it's just up to you and your advisor. You can take more, but absolute minimum is those 2 courses. Did I answer your question, Ogech?
Yes, that was perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question, Tanbir.
Hi, good morning. I actually wanted to know that as an international student starting in spring 2022, do I need to get fully vaccinated from my home country, or I can get it? I can get vaccinated reaching the UTD.
Very good question. My answer is this is America. Okay, you know what I mean. So
Okay.
you don't need to get fully vaccinated to come to America. Okay, you can so it is just the airline's requirement and the state of department's requirement that you need to get PCR test or something. I'm not sure even the PCR test is required now. Some test is required to get on board on the airplane. You
Okay.
are not required to get fully vaccinated. Once you are here, vaccination is right in the campus, and there are tons of vaccines available here. You don't need to even make the appointment. You can just almost walk in and then get vaccinated. And high quality medical staffs are here. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much for your answer. I got it.
Yeah. So don't worry about the vaccination at home country. Okay. Walter, is it your old hand or you have a new question?
No, I think it was an old hand. I actually took it off, but yeah, I think it didn't. Okay.
Thank you. Daron, is it new hand or old?
Hi Lee, just wanted to ask one more question. Since I've applied for a PhD program, and as far as I'm concerned, by default it's a funded program. In case I'm admitted, so can I by default make sure I don't have to submit any financial documents from my end to apply for a visa?
I didn't clearly get your question. So
okay. So since PhD program is a funded program, and in case I get an admit from UTD, so will I be able to make sure I don't have to submit any financial documents to apply for a visa?
Well, so I think it is 2-part. Your question can be divided into 2-part. So first, the PhD program, you said funded program. This is depending on how you get faculty support. So getting an admission of PhD program does not mean that you are funded.
Okay.
Admission is separate. Funding is separate. Okay. So once you are admitted, what you need to do is contact faculty of your research interest as early as possible. Okay. If you get admission, now is the time. Just send email, bombard email to faculty of your research interest, of course, and you need to make your own case that I am very well prepared to join your lab and join as a PhD student in your lab. Okay, so make your case so that the faculty is convinced and okay, I will support you as a TA or RA. Then you are funded. If nobody says I will support you as a TA and RA, you're not funded.
I see.
Okay.
All right.
So the funding is separate. And once you are funded, then the department write a letter to students, and this much amount and this much amount will be paid to these students, and you can use that for visa processing, of course.
I see.
So that's the second part of the question. Okay.
Yeah, now it makes sense to me.
Okay. So
thank you for Okay.
So any PhD students, you need to put your effort and to be selected as a lab member, new lab member. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for answering.
Thank you. Surya?
Hi, Lee. Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to ask, like, is there any open lab in UTD? Like, whenever we are interested, we can do work in lab.
Oh, actually, there is open lab. Simply answering, there is an open lab. Okay. So typically there is undergraduate, the electrical engineering and computer engineering laboratory there, and there is an open lab that you can access.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you. Any other questions from anyone else? I don't see any more raise the hands here. If there are no more questions, once again, this session is recorded and it will be available in YouTube channel, the ECE department YouTube channel, and we will send you this slide set. And for those who asked the questions in chat box, I hope majority of those questions are answered already. If anything is not answered, we'll definitely follow up and send you the answer. So to get your answer, please be sure to write your name and email address for your question. Otherwise, we don't know how to reach to you. Of course, we will spend time to dig out our record logbook and try to find your name and email address, but it is so time consuming. So please help us put your name and email address for any unanswered question, and we'll definitely follow up and provide you answer. If there are no more questions, the time now is 11:20, and I'd like to close this session.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you for today.
Thank you. Nee, you have a question?
Hi, Dr. Lee. Thank you for your session. What my question is like, I'm a person who completed my undergrad in electrical, and later I went to an IT industry for a few years. But then, due to some circumstances, I had to stay back home due to family constraints. So, I have about of around 7 years, like I've had to stay home. So, would this curb my chance to get an admit? Because, like, to be frank, I was not working, or I was not actually doing something. So, like, would this be a curb to apply for masters?
I don't think so. It is just based on your, the past record of the bachelor's degree, and your also industry experience also is a plus. So in your case, if you're worrying about the time, basically you can write a good essay, and now you are motivated to pursue the advanced degree. You can just write the good story, and definitely, I don't think there is any penalty on not staying in the school or in the field for several years. Not at all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other question from anybody else?
Hi, Lee. I have a question. So is it possible to defer the admission in case of any delay in the visa issuance?
Of course, you can defer your admission term to a later term. As I mentioned in the slide, You can all do it yourself. To just go to application portal. There is an option that you can defer to a later term. For any visa delay issue, we highly encourage you to to keep informing us so that we know where you are and we expect you to come. That'll be greatly helpful for us and of course for you too. Okay, so keep inform us. And for deferment itself, you can defer yourself online. Okay,
Yeah, thank you. Got it.
thank you. Any other question? Well, if not, for those who are still staying here, can you turn your camera on and let me take a picture of you? If you don't mind, please turn your camera on. Okay. Everybody, turn your camera on. All right. All right. Very nice. Very nice. Let me take a picture here. Smile, everyone smile. Big smile. 1, 2, 3. All right. Let me double check. Okay, I got it. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining with us. And once again, we'll follow up. And if you have any question in any point of time, feel free to contact us by contacting the centralized email address ecegradprogram@ut.edu. Okay, we will see you on campus here very soon. Okay. Thank you and have a great rest of the day. Probably many of you need to go to bed.
Thank you, Dr. Lee.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Professor Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lee.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Lee.
Thank you, Lee. It was very productive session. See you then. Bye.
Thank you.
Sorry, Dr. Lee, I wanted to ask, will it be possible to get a recording of the